It's designed for product ideation, marketing analysis, and strategic decision making. Imagine stepping into a high-stakes boardroom, but instead of people, the seats are filled with AI personas. On one side, a number-driven CEO. Across the table, you can see an intern with their just wild ideas. And in between, there sits a marketing analyst who's trying to just keep the balance and analyze every single pros and cons about things. Well, this is a real-time AI simulation I built using Google's Gemini and LangGraph. Each agent has its own memory and a way of thinking. With every turn, they respond to one another using long context reasoning, so they have like this shared memory that they build upon. And then they just output their response in a structured communication kind of way. Then I staged all this thing into a Gradio app that runs inside this Kaggle notebook. It's also deployed on Google Cloud Run in form of a website, and it also works as a Slack integration that I worked on. But in this video, I'm just going to talk to you about how the Kaggle notebook thing is working. Well, first, before starting, I want to talk about the Gen AI capabilities I've used here. So the first one is obviously agents with their unique behavior and memory. So here there are like three. Then there's like function calling, a long context window, structured output, and a Gen AI evaluator kind of person AI who is in a form of marketing analyst here, which does evaluation on other prompts in a way. So moving on to doing a basic rundown of this notebook, we come here, we see that we are installing some of the packages. Basically, you can see Google Gen AI, LangChain, and things like that. After installing all those things, we need Google API key. So you can do this in a couple of ways. The best way is to just go on add-ons, secrets, and then you can add a Google API key in here. And this is how it's kind of shown as well. After doing that, I'm just saving it in as G key variable. Then I'm importing the libraries. Then we need this nest asyncio.apply line because of the Kaggle notebooks event loop thing in the background, and we are also using asyncio and kind of like somewhat of asynchronous operations already in our code. So this is why here we set up our environment key here, and then we initialize our LLM. So here we're using Gemini. We pass in our Google API key. Now come to the important chunks of the code, the personas. So these are the prompts that kind of gives their own unique way of thinking to these agents. So the CEO, marketing intern, and strategist have their own prompts on how to behave. That's their, let's say, that's how their brain works in here. So now what we have to do is like we need a memory, like a shared memory that I was talking to you about. So we kind of achieve it through here. So there's like a history and current agent who is currently speaking, turn count and initial count. So turn count is how many counts has been done, how many agents have spoken, how many times, and initial count is how many counts does the user like us wanted and gave wanted us to like run it through. So coming to here, we have the code of initialization of the agents. So we are providing the history, the context, and then we are checking how to terminate the state. So it terminates the moment the turn count, like the current count, is greater than the initial count given by the user. We also avoid, so in order for it to have like a not to feel like a rigid flow, what I did was like having it random. So it always selects a random agent to reply to a response, which isn't the already, isn't the current agent. Now we build a graph using line graph, and then we simulate the role-based AI conversation. Um, and this is just for formatting the response, what they're returning. And this is the radio interface. So we have the initial number of turns that we need. So we start off with 5, but we can change it. So after running it, as you can see here, the number of turns I wanted was 3, and I put like a product description, magnetic water bottle. So, and it provided me with a response where it's a product, magnetic water bottle, and the CEO talks about what he needs, what he thinks about it, and talks about manufacturing, materials, marketing, distribution, packaging, and lots of other things. And then comes the marketing intern talking about that. Okay, it's kind of building upon on whatever the CEO said. And then the CEO replies again to the conversation. Because it was a three turn, so it didn't get a chance for our analyst to come in and respond. So if we like make it like 5 or something, it's pretty much sure that all the 3 agents would come and like talk something about. So at the end, what's limiting in this project is that agents don't actually access the real world data. So accessing the web is the next step. And the second thing is making more agents. So scaling, having more agents, like more roles, like a finance role or things like that. Also having more embeddings and yeah. Um, we have our blog post on Medium where I've talked about this project in a bit more detail. And as I told you about this website that's been deployed.